Assalamu alaikum. Today on Nuran Academy, we discuss the true meaning of an Islamic legacy. If you benefit, please support by subscribing and sharing as a sadaqah.
You know, it's a question we all think about at some point. What is a true legacy? And our minds often jump to these big, visible things, right? The loud footprints, applause, recognition, things that get noticed. But Islam offers us a completely different way to look at it. It talks about silent paths. These are the quiet, often unseen, contributions that actually pave the way for others, a kind of guidance that endures long, long after the applause dies down. So let's really dig into this. What is the real difference here? How do we understand the footprints we leave behind? The difference between just making a loud mark and building a silent, lasting path? I mean, let's be honest, some footprints are loud. They're meant to be. They're engineered to get attention, to make a splash, to shout, "I was here, look what I did."
And yeah, they leave these big marks that everyone can see. Trophies, accolades, public successes. But you have to ask yourself, how long does that kind of mark really last on the shifting sands of time?
And this is where everything changes. Because the real weight of our legacy, the truest measure of who we are, well, it's not found in the noise. It's found in the quiet. Most footprints are quiet. This idea just completely redefines legacy, doesn't it? It says it's not about people remembering you. It's about creating something people can use without even knowing who made it. Think about a standard you set, a principle you refused to compromise on years ago with no one watching. That action becomes the solid ground someone else walks on today. They might never know your name, but they are benefiting from your integrity. That right there is the heart of a true legacy. All right, to really bring this idea to life, let's explore a simple parable. It's a story about a man who built a way, a powerful example of what this quiet integrity really looks like.
So there was this man, and he was known for just one thing. He never, ever cut corners. And at first, people made fun of him. They called him slow, old-fashioned, completely out of touch with the modern way of doing things.
But then, years went by, and those very same people, they started trusting him with everything. Their families, their money, their entire futures. Why? Because they finally realized that trust isn't built on speed. It's built on a rock-solid foundation of character that just doesn't crack under pressure.
See, that's the key. He wasn't trying to build a name for himself. He wasn't interested in a statue in his honor. He was building a path, a safe, reliable way for others to travel.
And because of that path he built, so many people walked safely. His legacy wasn't something you could see like a monument. It was something you could feel. The safety, the security, the trust that permeated the entire community because of his quiet work. Okay, that's a great story. But what about us? How do we take this principle and connect it to our everyday practice? How do we start laying down these footprints in our own lives, starting today? Well, it comes down to those small, daily choices. It's choosing honesty when a small lie would make you more money. It's staying fair in a deal, even if it means you don't win the argument. It's helping someone out and then just walking away without ever mentioning it. Every single one of those choices is you laying down another stone on that reliable path. And here's the thing, these choices don't trend. They're not going to get you a million likes. There's no applause. But what they do is so much more important. They quietly, subtly, reshape the very ground we all walk on.
So this brings us to a really tough, really personal question. And I want you to really think about this for a second. If someone followed your footsteps, just from today, where would they end up?
Because the reality is, someone is always watching how you walk. Maybe it's your kids, your coworker, even a stranger who just sees one thing you do. You might not even notice them, but they're learning from the path you're making.
And this leads us to the ultimate goal, doesn't it? To the final purpose of a Muslim's life, a legacy that truly guides people home.
You see, Islam doesn't ask us to be unforgettable. That's not the goal. It asks us to be reliable, to be a source of dependable good that people can count on. That is the real victory. So as we wrap this up, there's one last question for us to carry with us. When your own footprints eventually fade from this earth, what path will still be there? Because the greatest legacy of all, it's not leaving a mark. It's leaving a way that leads others toward goodness long after you're gone.
Presented and created by Nuran Studio.